If you've ever wondered why so many supernatural beings screw around for about 2/3 of the movie, then settle in. I have an explanation. Hello friends and family members, it's McGann and this is the Fangirl, a video series that takes movies way too seriously. And if you've ever been in any kind of horror movie discussion, you may have noticed that like 90% of these movies take forever before the ghost or other supernatural entities start to do any real damage. Essentially, we spend most of the movie getting these little flirty scares, like the ghost is trying to court people, and during that process he's trying to decide whether he wants to make it serious or not. Even when I was 8, I used to notice this problem all the time in Aliens, where the freaking xenomorphs, the aliens, seem to just be patiently stalking people, waiting for them to turn around and scream before they'd actually do anything. Now, my plan, because I was 8 and I actually had a plan for every different type of monster attack, was to realize the alien was there, but never ever turn around. Instead, I'd start whistling a happy tune and stroll forward, never acknowledging the danger right behind me. But that was for these wait and shriek monsters. If the Puppet Master dolls were to show up with a warrant for my death, my plan was to convince them that I'd actually be a better leader for them, one who would look out for their personal interests. And if Michael Myers ever crossed my path, my plan was to bound at him like a happy Pepe Le Pew who just saw a black cat, and during his clear confusion I could just walk away unharmed. Preparation matters, folks. Make sure you have your plans in order. But today, as an adult with a pointless degree in film studies, I know with certainty that without these little build-up moments and fake-out scares, we'd either end up with movies that were 10 minutes long or 2 hours of pure terror that never lets up, neither of which make for an entertaining film. With that boring truth aside, I believe that there is enough lore out there to justify another answer, a better answer, a theory to fix all horror movies. Do you guys remember the movie The Skeleton Key? If you can find it, it's actually a fantastic horror movie about hoodoo and voodoo, and to vaguely spoil the ending, the entire movie was designed to take a non-believer and then mess with her until she believed the supernatural was real. So all these little jump scares and moments where the supernatural entities seem to be dicking around were on purpose because, to quote the movie, it doesn't work if you don't believe in it. I think that's true for a lot of things in life. If someone goes out on stage and they get cheered, they're going to give you a much different performance than someone who came out to booze. Even though it's the same person in the same setting, their mindset and being able to feed off the audience makes a huge difference. It's like that phenomenon where a placebo can be just as effective as a real medication simply because someone believes in it. I've watched different martial artists break through crazy amount of boards or cement blocks, and it seems to be through sheer willpower that they think they can do it. I've seen people who can't conceive a child for years suddenly do it after some spiritual healer says a few words over their stomach. And if you put on the fourth kind at night and then later hear an owl, there is no doubt in your head that you're about to be abducted by aliens. My point is, your brain is such a powerful thing that if you really think that you are trapped inside a hoodoo circle, you might just be permanently stuck there. So with that in mind, wouldn't it be more beneficial for a ghost to have you truly believing in its power? Think it over, but if you're walking around your house and your spoons start melting, you might try to figure out what happened, but most of us aren't jumping to, it's a poltergeist right off the bat. You haven't even tried to acknowledge that demon yet, so your fear isn't feeding it any power, which means the supernatural entities have to go about things kind of like a frog boiling in water. If you've never heard of that analogy, they say that if you take a frog and dump him in a pot of boiling water, he's just gonna jump out. But if you set that frog in room temperature water and slowly turn up the heat, Froggy has no idea that he's dying until it's too late to make a change. And sorry to say, but people are not that different. There's also this amazingly fun game on the Sega Genesis, Haunting, starring Polterguy. And you basically chase members of this family around their house and possess different objects until they are so freaked out they are running out of the house screaming. And it doesn't take one or two scares before the family members take off never to return. You have to systematically screw with their heads until they lose all doubt that these things might be a coincidence. It takes a lot for someone to process that they're haunted, but once they do, you've got a pretty firm grip on them for the rest of their life. And if a ghost or demon or whatever is powerful enough to go full force at a human right from the first scare, well, that person has a larger risk of escaping or dying from sudden shock when maybe you don't want them to, or they might be quick to summon an exorcist before the entity has a thorough hold on the person they're after. So jumping into a situation at full force isn't in the best interest of the entity either, meaning it logically makes sense for the paranormal to take baby steps before trying to possess, kill, or otherwise harm a human. Take that, CinemaSins! And if you take that notion and apply it to almost any horror movie out there about supernatural beings, it works pretty well in most cases, at least I think it does. It might not be a reality, but theories are more fun. I do really need to shout out to everybody on Twitter who answered me when I asked, help me name this video. I have no idea how to say why ghosts dick with people without YouTube demonetizing it. And you guys were amazing. Tara Hopkins, why spirits mess with the mortal realms. Bianca Alicia, spiritual harassment. Tessa Beulah May, why won't spirits leave me alone? Dale Wintland, what's up with ghost shenanigans? Subaki Kit, mucking up the mortal plane, mischief makers from the great beyond. Serenity Rain, why do spirits mess with the living? I have no idea what I'm gonna go with because I'm still working on this video as we speak, but you all deserve some love because these answers were fantastic. Hey guys, this was more of a serious video, so not anything super planned out for derps here today. If you haven't made it this far through any of my other videos, this is just kind of a vlog. We're gonna hang out for a minute. Yep, I have got my cool pins with my D23 pass lanyard thing. I don't know. No, the lanyard's actually from Disney Movie Club. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Oh no. My worst fears have come true. Things are stuck in my hair. But yeah, I like pins. I have some cool pins on here from VidCon, D23, gifts from I Want PB Now, Disney, all kinds of places. Yeah. Oh no, my Hulu pin's been upside down the entire time. And people keep asking me, did I like D23? And my answer is, VidCon was fun. Again, that's not what we asked. I know what I said, and I stand by it. Yeah, D23 was miserable. I would never do that one again. Let's see. Today, for my little side display here, I've got my old school Puppet Master buddies. I got these guys way back in the 90s when they were new. They're all like breaking down on the boxes. They're dusty as all get out. It's like I wipe off a layer and then there's another layer that just swarms right back to it. I don't even know what's going on, but this is the Jester. The Jester was my favorite puppet. And this is Tendler. He's got a little drill on his head so he can cut through people. The plastic in his is really getting yellow. When you're a collector buying these in the moment, you never really think about how age is going to affect these boxes. These have been in closets for years, probably over a decade, and it's still got yellowing plastic and bending up on the edges and all sorts of discoloration. Oh, I'm sure I knew this when I bought them, but his little drill at the top actually works. I don't know if anybody can make that out or not. Where's the Jester? Oh, the Jester's face. Does it really move? Oh, the Jester's face really moves too, but I think it's all as one unit. I don't think it goes in 3 different pieces like it does in the movie. I don't know where they're all at anymore. Somewhere around, I'm sure. But I know I've got 2 different Leech Womans. I should have a Pinhead, a Torch, and a Totem. Maybe Decapitron. But I remember I missed Blade and 6-Shooter, but I do have the Retro Blade. I would talk about ghost stuff here, but honestly, no! What just came off? It was the original price tag! It's like part of his story fell off. But he was originally $13.99 in whatever part of the 90s he came out in. Let me see. Let me check for clues. 1997, Full Moon Toys, Puppet Master, and Tendler and its logos are copyright and trademarked. 1997 Full Moon Pictures. Yeah, I was gonna spend this time talking about ghost stories, but I'm actually horrified of the ghost stories I have, so I'm not sure I want to share those yet. Anyways, guys, this has been our little derps for the day. I guess it's time to wrap it up. Kind of dragging on and pointless, much like the entire channel itself, but you don't need someone to call attention to that fact. Well, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, my dear family members. Do you guys remember the skeleton key? It doesn't work if you don't believe in it. Mother, we are not, no. Well, family members, we're almost done, but I want to invite you to hang out with me in some other places. I'm on Twitter and Instagram as my own personal self, and I have a Facebook page too, but I mostly just post photos over there. And sometimes people say, "Hey McGann, I want to mail you something. How do I do that?" Easy. Just click the About tab on my channel page, and my most current P.O. Box info will be right there. I also run another channel, The Family. It's really a hodgepodge channel where we might post anything. Oh yeah, and I also sell shirts and stickers and stuff with the Family and the Fangirl logos. If that is your cup of tea, I have a link in every description of every video. Finally, if you want to help out the Fangirl channel and make sure I'm putting out video essays for years to come, the best way you can help is by subscribing and watching more of my videos, whether they're new, old, whatever. Maybe even share one or two on social media, help spread the word. People who watch to the end of videos, like you, helps to tell the site, hey, this is a good video, we should recommend it to other people. So if you made it this far, leave me a comment of something like, hey, I made it to the end. Love ya. See you next time, family members. Bye.